Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist, is here with us now. And Derrell, it's a new year, so let's start off with how the cattle markets are looking as we start 2018.
Well, we're off to a pretty good start right now. Cattle markets are pretty strong. It's early in the year, and it takes a little while in January to kind of get a sense of where the markets are post-holiday. But it looks good at this point. We carried a lot of nice momentum out of 2017, and that's that's where we're starting 2018. So we're off to a good start so far.
Let's talk about part of the demand and international trade and what the latest data shows about beef and meat trade in particular.
Well, the most recent data we have is for the month of November, and it showed a continuation of strong beef exports. They were up, but not as much over a relatively big number a year ago, about 3% higher in November. For the year to date, for the first 11 months of the year, beef exports are up about 13%. On the import side, imports were about the same as a year earlier for the month of November. For the year to date, down about 1%. So again, we've had good, strong performance there. That's helping demand and helping support these cattle markets.
And then what about beef exports to China?
You know, we talked a lot about China, very excited about getting access last year in the middle of 2017. It's a slow process. If you look at the numbers, we're watching them on a month-by-month basis, and you can look at it a couple different ways. China was the number 10 beef export market in November, but that was right ahead of the Philippines. So it's a very small percentage, about 0.8% of our November exports went to China. And for the year to date, it was about 3% or 0.3%. So it's a slow process. I think it will continue to grow. We're watching it every month, but I don't think China will probably be a major factor in U.S. beef markets in 2018. I think it's farther down the road than that.
And finally, today, the situation for pasture in the Southern Plains, pretty dry, isn't it?
It's very dry. It's been a real challenging year for wheat pasture. We had to wait later to plant a lot of the wheat to get past the armyworms. By then it was dry. Some of the wheat is still very small, barely up in some cases. In other cases it got up and maybe we grazed it a little bit, or in some cases we couldn't even graze it because the root development was so poor that it would pull it out of the ground. So, and some of the cattle that were out earlier have already had to move off because we don't have any growth. It's dry and it's cold now, so we're not getting any growth for the time being. So all in all, a pretty disappointing year so far.
Okay, Derrell, thanks a lot. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah.